Hello everyone and welcome back on my channel. This time I won't keep you waiting, we're going to dive right into the topic of this video, which is I think I'm done with reactions. Now, to understand why I'm taking such a radical decision, and if you're wondering if I will still react to the last season of Young Royals, please stay until the end of this video. You probably won't notice because my channel started to become popular around the time I started to react to Young Royals. This is where my audience started to grow and when I came out of my bubble, I feel like. But I actually started my channel 3 years ago during COVID. Like most people, I was bored, and so I decided, you know what, let's just try and make videos and we'll see where it goes. And the reason why my channel is actually called Love My Shelf is because in the inception of this project, my channel was actually supposed to be about books, and what I wanted to accomplish with my channel at first was to make rec about queer books, because when I was growing up, I remember how little representation we had in actual books, and that's why so many of us latched onto fictional characters and started writing fanfiction. At least this is my experience. This might be biased because, as you can hear from my accent, I'm not a native English speaker, so probably you had maybe a little more diversity out there in the book world. But growing up in a French-speaking country, the only stories we had about like queer people were either super sad and mostly about gay white males. Now, granted, I'm a total failure because I don't read that much, but I still wanted at the time to create a space where I could share my love for queer books and hopefully for some of the authors I liked, maybe give them more visibility. I know, that was a bit presumptuous of me. Around now, you might probably wonder what the fuck I'm on about, because this channel is everything but dedicated to books, and I mean, I'm partially to blame for that. This is my fault. The reason I started to do reactions is because I also watch a lot of reactions about my favorite TV shows, and once I figure out how to edit videos without the fear of getting copyright striked every 3 seconds, I just thought this could be me. I could do this. Now, as many of you probably already know if you've been watching my content for a while, my angle as a reactor was also that I'm not just a casual viewer. Whenever I love a piece of media a lot and like so much that it consumes me, I actually take part into fandom culture. If I only take Young Royals as an example, I wrote think pieces on Twitter, I wrote analysis, I wrote fanfiction, I read fanfiction, you know, like I made friends, I interacted with people, whether it was in my comment sections or even on Twitter, in DM. I like sharing my passion for the things I like, and I don't feel like a lot of reactors do that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're like fake fan or anything, and I don't think there is only one way to be a fan of something, but most reactors, they have like the videos they make, and then, you know, like in their everyday life they do other stuff, and they don't actually are part of the fandom, you know? Which again, it's perfectly fine. I'm not saying I was better because I was somehow invested into the fandom. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to explain the differences between like some reactors and my reactions, for example, and why at the time I thought this perspective could be interesting for viewers. Now that I've explained the basics, I'm going to get into why I'm actually considering stopping reactions. When I first started making them, I also did it because there was room for me. There weren't that many YouTubers making reactions about queer shows at the time. I was actually one of the first people to make reactions to Young Royals, for example, considering this was a Swedish show, and at the time, like, it was slowly growing, you know, like more and more appreciated by the public, just like Everything Everywhere All at Once, who was like a movie from A24 and who like got so popular because people were talking about it to their friends, to their family, to their close ones. And so the I don't know how you say it in English, but in French we have a saying that says le bouche à oreille. This helped the movie a lot, and this is how it got so popular and, you know, like won Oscars and everything. But so with Young Royals, it was also like that, I feel like, because I hadn't heard of it before just watching the trailer 1 week before, I think, and because I've always been interested in queer media and that this show specifically seemed to be different from other stuff I had watched in the past, I did want to give it a chance, and I thought, you know what, let's just make a reaction out of it. If somehow this can help the show get more popular, then that's cool. And at the time, I didn't have many views on my video. Like I barely had like hundreds maybe, and even then I'm pushing it. So yeah, if you're familiar with my content, you know that I like to immerse myself in the shows I watch, and that my reaction can get really emotive, I guess, because I feel the emotions of the characters very vividly. And I also like to analyze stuff, so I tend to pause a lot and just talk. And I know this is not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. And I don't want to change the way I'm doing things, because if I did that, then it means that I have to just basically change who I am as a person, because you might not think this is the case, but the way you're seeing me when I'm watching series and films and just, you know, like ranting all about how great the performances are, or like, oh my god, I like this shot for this and this reason, and oh, this character said this, but it's too bad because blah 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 blah. You know how when I say all of that, I do that with everything. Like even when I'm not filming, the only difference is that I either do it with my friends, and so we talk and interact about the thing we're watching, or I just do it in my head. Like basically what I do when I record reactions is just voice out every single thought I have, like almost every single thought I have. And comparing to the other reactors out there who are making reactions, I know that we all are different styles, but even me as a viewer, I know that I do like people who analyze the stuff and, you know, like really try to immerse themselves into the story. But I do also like people who are a bit funnier with the way they edit, or like just the way they react to stuff, you know, like maybe not taking things so strongly and so deeply, and just, you know, like vibing with it and having a fun time. Like I do enjoy those reactions as well. And I do know that my editing is very poor. Like I'm not going to lie and pretend to be somebody else. I try to make my video as entertaining as I guess, but the truth is that the competition is ruthless. Like, how am I supposed to compete with all of those people, especially when I don't actually think I'm bringing anything that interesting to the table, you know? When the first season was out, I got super popular super fast. Like I got tons of views, and it was great, not just because I liked having views, but also because I could actually interact with people in the comments, which is again the main reason why I actually built this channel. It was to like share my interest with people and just have people to talk with, I guess. But yeah, flash forward 2 to 3 years later, my views are way down now. I'm not trying to paint me as some kind of victim. I'm just trying to explain why I'm just kind of not motivated to do reactions anymore, because like I don't actually know if you understand what it's like to actually sit down and record a reaction. I'm not going to try and talk for other reactors because they might have totally different opinion about this. But in order to record the reaction, I have to sit alone in my room for hours. I have no other choice to do most reactions in one sitting, because if I want to go back on social media and not get spoiled, I have to do it quick. Not only is this like really lonely as an experience, but also, like I explained earlier, I have to force myself to voice out my thoughts and like, you know, make them coherent in a way, you know, like it's not a passive exercise. Now, I also touched upon this earlier in the video, but as you can hear from my accent, I'm not a native English speaker, and I honestly think that my writing skills and my reading comprehension skills are way better than my speaking ones. And it's obvious and it shows, and I could compare it because I like try to put some French in some of my videos, and sometimes I also like make reactions, quote unquote, for some of my friends, you know, like whenever there is something, like I just like edit and I just send it to them. But when I do it in French because this is my main language, and I'm honestly more entertaining and just funnier whenever I can speak French, which makes sense because again, this is my first language. And I know what you're going to say. Nobody's actively pushing me to do videos in English. This is a choice I made myself. But you can't also ignore the truth that English is an universal language, and if I start like just reacting in French and adding subtitles, especially for shows like Young Boyos where you also need to read the subtitles whenever you're watching reactions, then it's just a lot. And to be honest, I'm quite lazy. Like, do you know how long it takes to edit a video? Even for a reaction who lasts about like 25 minutes, It's 4 hours of editing. And like I also said before, I have an actual day job. Like, not all of them, but many reactors, YouTube is their job. This is their thing. They're paid to do this. I'm not. The point I also wanted to touch upon is the fact that, as I mentioned, the whole reaction thing can be very lonely and isolating. And this has actually quite impacted me in the last few years, because in order to be able to record my reactions, it meant that every time my friends asked me, oh, Young Royal Season 2 is going to come out soon. Do you want to go by to my house and we can watch it together? I had to say no. And so I had to push my friend away just to like react in front of a camera. You know what I mean? And you probably know this if you're ever like watch stuff you like with your friends, but sharing is caring, right? Like, this is also sharing, but it's just not the same. And I think I'm not fine with that anymore. Like, I don't like the fact that I actually have to beg my friends to either wait for me to watch something, because on one hand, I don't want to not be there when they watch it for the first time and, you know, miss the reactions. But it's also quite selfish because I've already watched the damn thing. And yeah, it's not sitting with me right anymore. I don't want to do that. So with all of that in mind, obviously, when I compare my numbers, like the number of hits my video gets, to other YouTubers, how do you not want me to feel discouraged? This is not a matter of being ungrateful, because I do know that some people like my videos and genuinely enjoy my content and what I'm bringing to the table. And to those people, I'm like so grateful and thankful to you. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I just don't think I can keep doing this. Like, it's costing me too much. When I have to weight down the positive and the negative, like, it's pretty clear that the negative are just up there. And if I'm not going to change, like the way I edit stuff, the way I do reactions, if I'm not going to change because I don't want to, then something needs to change. And this is the best solution I got. Now, with everything I just said, this is the moment you're going to call me a hypocrite, because I do intend to react to the last season of Young Royals. Not only as a token of gratitude to you, if you've put up with me for 2 years and my endless ramblings, but also as a tribute to Young Royals, since this show brought so many great things in my life. It made me fall in love with writing again, getting me out of a writer's block that lasted for years. But most importantly, this show introduced me to the person I consider to be my platonic best friend, my star sister, my best friend. So that's it. Young Royals Season 3 will be the last show I react to. I won't be filming my reactions to Heartstopper next year because honestly, there's no point. I might do some movies sometimes, especially if they're adaptations of books. Like, for example, there is the Aristotle and Dante movie who's like going to come out soon. So I might do a reaction to that because I've read the book when I was 14. Oh my god, wow. In the future, if I ever feel the need to share my thoughts about a show or anything else, I think I actually try to do some kind of recap, like a mix of Friendly Space Ninja and Emergency. I don't know if you're familiar with the content, but if you are, then I'm going to try to do like a mix of both, I think. I think I'm going to go back to book recs sometimes when I read. Since I've established that I am a huge fangirl, I also thought it would be nice to like create some kind of concept where I say create, but I actually didn't like try to see if this already existed or anything, but I thought it could be fun if I just shared my favorite fanfictions with you guys. I think I'll do one video where maybe I share my top 10 fanfics with you after season 3 of Young Royals is done, and maybe I'll do it with Heartstopper as well, and you know, other shows and other maybe like media I like. Stuff regarding fanfictions I feel could be cool and entertaining. Like, I can kind of see the concept in my head, like how I would film it, how I would edit it, and make it, you know, like enjoyable and entertaining for you. I'm also going to keep uploading vlogs from time to time. There aren't a lot of them on my channel, but this channel is also a safe space for me, and if I want to upload vlogs, even though nobody watches them, it's for me and for my own, you know, like memory box of sorts. And I also plan to make another top 10 BL videos, but this time with Korean shows, because I've watched a lot of them recently and I have things to say and share. To summarize, this is not the end of Love My Shelf, this is not the end of my channel, this is just the beginning of a new era. And Yours will be the last series I'm going to react to. I might react to some movies, perhaps not. We'll see. If you've been watching me for all this time, or even if you just discovered me last week, whether or not you've been supporting me from the shadow, like leaving likes or just sharing the video or even just like enjoying it on your own or with your friends, just know that I'm very grateful to you. And please don't take it personally and try to understand my reasons. There are many talented content creators out there, so I don't think you're going to miss me that much, honestly. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for being with me for 3 years. And I'll see you in the next video. I don't actually know what it's going to be. Perhaps the reaction to the trailer of Young Season 3, if it drops. We'll see. Anyway, thank you again, and goodbye.